Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and as many of you may have noticed, the Guild Wars unfortunately ended up getting delayed. It will be delayed until next week. The main reason for this is they were trying to get the bracket system to work, and for some reason they had some minor issue with it, so they had to go and fix it. They weren't able to fix it in time, so it's just going to be moved on to next week. Though, even though they are delaying it, we did end up get the Guild Wars troop that we would have gotten from completing this week, so we got that a little bit early. So today I'm going to be going over Aurai teams, which is the troop that we ended up getting, the first Guild Wars troops that we have. It is a pretty decent one. It is on green. All of them essentially do the exact same thing, just for their color. They deal damage to an enemy if there are 13 or more of their color on the board. They then do triple damage, and then they create a storm of their color, which will be green. One thing to note about all storms, since this is the second storm we have, and now we finally have two, if you do use a storm on the board when there's already a storm, so for example, if you use the other Skull Storm, which currently exists, this will override it, so do keep that in mind. You can use a storm to counter out a different storm, so it may always be pretty decent to keep at least one storm on your team, particularly once we get all 7 colors of them, since you can use one to deny out the enemy's one. As far as traits, they will all have a heart to their color. All their second traits are different depending on whatever they want to put for it. And the final trait is always a +5 to whatever all the color is, which is green. So all green troops are gaining +5 to all stats. These are pretty decent traits, or at least the last one anyways. Some of them have decent second traits, but the last trait is pretty decent since it can give a really huge buff to all green troops. One thing to note though is that these have the same cost as the Guardians from your guild, so they are a bit expensive. They cost a huge amount of arcanes, 30 of the pure arcane that they take among many other to be able to trade it up. As far as the order of green troops are concerned, I'd say it'd probably be better to fully trait your archer class first, then maybe Aurai, or you can just go straight for Aurai. But regardless, you do not want to level up your loyalty, because it'd be much better invested in either a fully traded archer or a fully traded Aurai. And one other thing to note about these, which is one nice benefit that they have compared to that of Guardians, is that they are actually associated to a kingdom. As you can see, this one is associated to Forest of Thorns, and all of them that they ever add from the Guild Wars will be associated to one kingdom. So right here we're going to be going with a Web Spinner Green Seer combo. Web Spinner out of any green troop has the highest benefit from having additional magic and just additional stats in general. And then we'll go over the other one after this, which is a Rowan, because she of course gains a huge amount from any extra armor that she can get. But we'll be starting off here, getting of course our Green Seer up first to get our nice mana generation. We'll then just want to aim that anywhere on the board. As soon as we get the storm going, we will pretty much never miss with a Web Spinner. I was testing this earlier, and it is pretty ridiculous if you can manage to get the storm going with the Web Spinner. A little bit hard to get our initial mana though, because we do need a lot of green mana to actually generate all this. But we're only 3 away. We're pretty much already there. Pretty bad board right now, and I do not have a Green Seer to be able to redeem it. So hopefully this does not miss. It's likely that it will. And nope, good. It did hit, but it didn't really generate any mana. It's mainly just doing damage. Same with that one. Still a little bit down on mana. I might just manually take one. If we can get a green surge right now, it would be really nice. Perfect. Okay. So now we can get the storm, and we can start hitting. This does do triple damage if there are 13 or more green. There doesn't appear to be 13 or more green, but I will use it for the sake of the storm, so we'll just toss that out. Use another Web Spinner, and as you can see, there's a storm, just like any other storm. It just increases the chance of that gem falling down. This one is for green, so now more greens will fall. Hopefully we hit here, so we can see all the green falls. Okay, we didn't really hit that much. Hopefully the next one will be able to show it though. But yeah, you can already see just from the little 3 takes that a lot of greens are coming down. But you can see just from there when the, oh gosh, of course. Of course, when I want to show it, it barely shows any green fall. But it does slightly increase the amount of greens that fall. Normally it's best with board clear, which is what we're going to be using in this next team. Something like a Dragon Soul, Gorgolfa, Carnax, or anything that can do a lot of explosions on the board tends to be pretty good for all these storms, because they can clear out a lot of the board. Of course, with a Web Spinner, it's a bit more inconsistent. as far as clearing the board, but as you can see, it still has a really nice loop. This time we're going to be doing the kind of Forest of Thorns team. I'm actually using the Archer class fully traded, as I was mentioned earlier. It's the most versatile class there is, since it can cover melee and casting, as well as works with Aurai. Now, though it really depends if you want Aurai or not. It may actually even be better to do Aurai now that I think of it, because one good benefit about Aurai and all the Guild Wars troops that are going to be coming is, since they are associated to a kingdom, they actually do help with the kingdom stars. If you're starting to worry about that, like trying to get 5 stars or just stars like 3 and like 7 or whatever it is for the tributes, this does count towards it, whereas upgrading a hero class does not count towards it. But we're going to be running with 3 Forest of Thorns troops, the Aurai, the Rowan, and the Archer. Gorgolfa up front for the board clear and just for general tankiness, and we'll see how that goes. Ooh, we are up against Kraken. That is... ooh. We'll still try it. Hopefully that won't devour our hero, because our hero has pretty high stats, and that'll be a bit annoying. Plus it'll tap our Rowan, so not the best team we could be up against, but as long as we can get going on the explosions, we should be good to go. We'll want to start on Gorgolfa if we can. We'll take a little bit longer of a start than the previous team we did, as it will at minimum take us about 3 turns to get all of its mana up, and if we don't have any to swipe, like on a turn like this, it'll take even longer, so we'll just take the purple out. One pretty good thing about using Prismatic Orb, though, is that we do indeed cover every single color, so we aren't really going to have to worry about that. So there we go, really nice, lucky right there on a brown-yellow, plus we even get a surge on it. He's about to get a giant spider off. He kind of already has alignment. I'm scared that he's gonna do it somewhere decent, so we'll just clear the board, see what we get from there. And okay, we can start our storm, so that should be nice. And we end up getting all of our Gorgolfa mana back too. Okay, so it doesn't tangle us. That's not too big a deal, since we can just cleanse it off. Not really worried about that at all. We just mainly need to get our Rowan functioning, and we should be good from there. Hopefully he'll waste his giant spider here on something that's not red. Okay, he does it on red. This is not going to be good then. As long as he doesn't get the Devour, we should be fine. But yeah, we'll toss this at Rowan. Hopefully we'll get the extra turn, preferably on green. Okay, we get it on blue, but at least we get all of Rowan's mana. He'll just waste his turn on a skull. And it looks like he has a pretty good chance of getting, since we just created blue for him, he has a pretty good chance next turn of landing an extra turn off that Kraken. But I'm not going to worry about it too much. We won't be able to get the triple damage here, but I do need to get it down for the storm, and then we'll use Gorgolfa, which will most likely land us into an extra turn. He doesn't have anything that could freeze us. Don't you dare devour. Okay, he just devoured almost all of our colors, because that was Prismatic Orb covering everything. But as long as our Rowan still survives through, we should still be good to go. And it looks like, nope, he's just going to tear us apart. Well, that's the problem of using Rowan. It's basically your only damage source. But let's see. Still not over yet. As long as we can keep some of these greens on the board, keeping the storm up, we should be good. He'll just take skulls. We still have a Gorgolfa up front, so the main problem though is he took out a good majority of our armor on Rowan, so we're only doing about 20 damage to all enemies every single cast, which is pretty much just like a Dragon Soul or something, which for Rowan is relatively low compared to what she normally does. If I'm not mistaken, there's 13 green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, there's definitely 13 green. So one nice thing is we can do triple damage, and that's quite a bit of damage too. Mine right now will be doing 78 damage. That's not enough to kill a Kraken. I might still aim at one of them though, just so we can get it cleared. We can always kill that with a skull. Not too worried about what he might do though if he hits it on brown or green. That's pretty much match. Okay, he hits it on green, of course. Maybe I should have killed it. Well, there he goes. Might need to try this over again then. We still have our chance though, but with that Rowan disabled as far as it is, yep, and now down to 0 armor. Okay, so that did not work out as well as it should have. Definitely worked out better on the first time around. This did work earlier, but we'll throw it again. Humility Draculus, not the best thing we could throw it at, but it won't do the same trollish thing it just did. It is a possibility that he'll get such a high magic, but we can always target him down with Aurai. Use Aurai what it's kind of meant for, to do its triple damage to kill out a troop. So we'll try it here. We won't trigger the humilities too much. I've actually noticed this team quite a bit lately. It's mainly because there's so many troops right now and so many good teams that are solid at hitting all enemies at once. And this team kind of counters it out, because if you're not paying attention and you keep hitting all the enemies, they just keep gaining so much armor that and then gives all the magic to Draculus. And Draculus eventually gets enough magic where he just one-shots you. You can do the same thing with Crimson Bat. Most people who have Draculus just do it with Draculus, of course, though. Oops, should have taken the purple first. My bad. Actually, I don't even think we needed the purple in that instance, because we already had full prismatic orb, so I guess that didn't really change much. And of course, we'll throw all the prismatic orbs at Rowan. If you don't have prismatic orb, you get prismatic orb at 25 all hero masteries, by the way, for any of you wondering when you get it. So yeah, we'll basically just tap him. I don't know if we have enough green yet. Doesn't look like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I only 11. So that's not gonna work. We could throw Rowan. Probably gonna start on Gorgolfa a bit more. Only needs a brown pair or another yellow pair, and we'll be good to go on that. And perfect. We'll bait out a skull to make sure he just takes it. We're going to use the Guardian Guild War. I don't even know what we should call them. Guild Wars troops? Guild Wars troops, I guess. We're going to use the Guild Wars troop to tap out the Draculus, and now we can use the Storm into a Gorgolfa. Now a lot of grains. Now it'll be a lot more noticeable that a lot of grains fall when we do something like a Gorgolfa. It's a lot more noticeable when you do it with a Gorgolfa than with a web spinner, that's for sure, because the Gorgolfa is basically a complete board clear, which is pretty nice. But as you can see, we're getting Rowan really high. I'm going to just give her one more buff before we end it out. Definitely a lot smoother this time around, as it should have gone previously. But yeah, this is how it should go. We got a little bit interrupted from those Krakens. A little bit stronger against this than I thought it was going to be. But there we go. Is that 13 greens? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I either counted wrong or it's exactly 13. We'll find out if he dies or not. Yep, that was 13 or more. So we're good to go. And now we can just throw the Rowan, and that should be team wipe. We're pretty close to it. Yep, that's team wipe. And there we go. That's how it's supposed to go. Use the Aurai to kill out the biggest threat, and then you just clear them out with Rowan from all of the prismatic shard upgrades. Because those prismatic shards, I forget if I showed it, but most of you probably know what it does. It just gives armor to an ally and then creates 8 gems. And it's most notably used with Rowan. And that's another team that you can use it with. And we were utilizing the extra buff that we got from it. One pretty nice thing about the Prismatic Shard is all of the Guild Guardians that will be boosting 5 to all allies. You can use Prismatic Shard with literally any of them, and it'll get the full buff. But normally you'd probably only use it on under green and blue conditions, as Rowan's about the only real thing that you could upgrade with it. And maybe Guard's Avatar. We might try with Guard's Avatar once we get some other colors. But anyways, that'll wrap it up for this video. Kind of disappointed, like many of you probably are, that Guild Wars got delayed, but only a week away, so we'll have that to enjoy soon. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful week.